Hi.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Knock Knock Hi with the Glaucomfleckens. I am Will Flannery, also known as Dr. Glaucomflecken.
I'm Kristin Flannery, also known as Lady Glaucomflecken.
Thank you for joining us today
Yes.
for another episode of Glauc Talk.
Yeah, where we talk
Glauc to
Glauc to
Glauc.
Glauc.
I love it. It's so fun to say. I don't know. I'm glad I chose Glaucomflecken as a name.
It is a ridiculous sounding name. That is why you chose it.
Well,
So,
it's either that or Dr. Pseudophacodinosis.
yeah, that's not as fun to say.
Bit of a mouthful.
Yeah.
Went with the two fewer syllables. Anyway, we have some fun stuff for you today. But before we get to it,
We're gonna have no fun at all.
No,
first.
zero fun to start with. No, actually, toward the beginning of the year, we always do like a big, what am I trying to say? We do a big planning session, like
like strategy.
God,
You're
that's
talking
the word
about
I was thinking of.
our business.
Our business,
yes,
yeah.
For
We always have
Glaucomflecken LLC.
Exactly. That's it. Thank you for having words whenever I can't get them out
You're welcome.
from my brain. So I thought I came up with some ideas that are kind of were on the cutting room floor. I thought we could I could share those
for our
with you.
business
Yeah.
ideas.
Yeah, business ideas.
Okay, and remind everyone here what role really do you have in the business? What do you do?
I just make the funny.
Okay,
That's me. I bring the content, right?
Well, some of it, yeah. We do make a fair amount of.
Kristin runs the show.
Yes,
She's the CEO and COO, and
I have some help with the operations, but yes, that's
right.
not your. We prefer to keep you in the creative roles,
which is what I'm good at.
Yes.
Organization is not my specialty. Marketing is not my specialty. In fact, I don't like to market myself. I'm really bad at it. And so, in fact, before Kristin started, working on the Glaucomflecken, before you came on as CEO of the company, I had like a whole bunch of imposter accounts on all different platforms, posting all my content,
making money off of it,
making money off of me,
Yeah.
and Kristin came in and cleaned all that up, which has been great. So, but anyway, I thought. I came up with some stuff.
Okay.
Some creative
Let's hear
stuff.
your business ideas.
Yeah, can we do this?
All right.
Here we go. First one. Glaucomflecken action figures.
Okay.
What do you think?
I like it.
You go to the store
Yeah.
and you see like they're in the little plastic and they have like their accessories. Like we could
Right.
have the neurologist with the hair,
Yeah.
and he has like a reflex hammer. Maybe
Yeah.
3 different reflex hammers.
Ooh, and you could switch them out.
Yeah, you could, and people could buy them for their kids, and the kids could look at them like, "What the hell did you just get me?" And they'd explain it and show the videos, and then the kids would be like, "Oh, I guess this is kind of cool," and then forget about it for a while.
And they use it to hit their sister.
Yeah, some stuff like that.
Yeah.
What else would be emergency medicine would be a good action figure, right?
Yeah.
Get the helmet,
Sure. Ortho. Got a hammer.
lots of mallets and
Yeah.
hammers. What else? Psychiatry might be a bit.
Maybe that's more of those talking dolls, where you pull the string. That's psychiatry.
Do they still make those
I
like a
don't know.
Woody?
Yeah, like a Woody.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so fun. We got to do that. A talking Woody doll, but the psychiatrist saying things like, how are you feeling today? Something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Or we could even do like the nephrologist. Is homeostasis a joke to you?
Right. A lot of them have little catchphroses that you could.
Ooh, I like
you could
that.
do.
Like,
Yeah.
what up, bone bro?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry about your bean buddies.
sorry about your little bean buddies. I didn't mean to hurt your little bean buddies.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I think we're onto something here.
Yeah.
We got to
Yeah.
find out if they still make those types of
I know.
toys.
It's a good question.
Pull the string and it talks.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
Okay, so that's a pretty good idea.
Pretty good?
At least
Pretty
for
good?
the creative. Profit margins, questionable.
Okay.
So we'll
All right.
have
So
to
from
see.
a business standpoint, maybe not.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Glaucomflecken the movie.
Oh boy.
Huh? Huh? They're making
say
movies.
more.
They make movies about anything these days. So we go up to Netflix. Be like, hey, Netflix.
Yeah.
Why don't?
What's up, Netflix?
What's up, Netflix? Let's do a thing. Like, you should give us like, I could do it for $50 million.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So where they give us a bunch of money, and I play all the characters in a movie.
Okay, so you want Netflix
Hmm.
to pay you $50 million for your YouTube channel.
Oh, kind better
It already
quality, higher
exists.
quality though.
Oh,
Like we get
okay.
the good cameras,
The good
not the
cameras.
iPhone, like the whatever the good ones are.
Yeah.
You know where you see the
Uh-huh.
movies and it looks nicer than my videos.
Correct.
You
Yeah.
you think we could go up to Netflix with that?
I think you're gonna need a plot,
Okay.
first of all.
Okay.
I think you gotta have like an actual movie, not just a bunch
Okay.
of clips.
Do we have any movie writers out there that would be willing to help come up with a script for the Glockenflug in the movie? Probably need a better name.
I don't know. The
Glockenflug in the
name
movie?
is it
Okay.
reminds me of like the Bee movie,
What?
you know?
Which was a amazing success, I
A
hear.
box office hit.
Okay, maybe just Glockenflecken.
I'm gonna give this one a maybe because I need more information. It
Okay.
really
All
depends
right.
on what the movie is about.
Okay, here we go. All right, here's another one. Glockenflecken conference.
Mm.
It's like a medical conference,
Hmm.
but we host it.
And people learned what exactly?
I haven't thought that far ahead.
Okay, well,
It could be like a we could still do CME, but here's an idea. We have people from different specialties. They give talks about other specialties besides the ones that they're in.
for CME.
Yeah. No good.
What CME?
Like I'm sure people would love to hear me give a talk about like transplant medicine.
I don't think they would.
No, you don't think that would be approved for
No.
CME?
You know
That
what they
might not
could do? They could talk about their own specialty
be. Mm-hmm.
for other specialties, right? Like how
Oh.
you have kind of an ophthalmology
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
for
yeah.
non-ophthalmologists of like, here's what you need to
Okay.
know as an emergency
Okay.
medicine physician about
Logically,
eyeballs.
that makes a lot more sense than what I said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then maybe there could be some like entertainment here and there
I
in
like that.
between.
Yeah, emergency physicians, they do love hearing me talk about eyeball stuff. Like
Right.
the knock knock eye episodes.
Yeah.
All the I get a lot of messages from emergency like this is all of the information that I get
Right.
about eyeballs.
Yeah.
So I think you might
Which
be
is
onto
very
something.
scary. But what
That might
other
be challenging for people, though.
specialties? Right, but I mean, then maybe that's what they're learning. That's what the CME is about. It's more of it's like a science communication, healthcare communication. We need better healthcare literacy in this country, and one facet of that might be doctors being able to explain to people outside of their field, even if
Yeah.
there are still other doctors. Let's just start there
We
because
could
that's easier.
we could also have like here's how you to make your presentation funny workshop.
Yes, right. We could speak about speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, and have maybe some other
Like
experts.
Dr. Glauckenflecken's tips for making PowerPoint funny.
I know.
What?
I want a conference for everything they don't teach you that you do need to know as a doctor. Some business stuff,
Yeah.
some presentation skills, right? Like
Things
stuff
about
like
the
that.
foot.
Things about the teeth.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, lots of holes in the medical education that
What
we could try
exactly
to fill
is
in.
bone marrow? No one really knows.
No one knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mystery that science will
Okay.
never solve.
Okay, that's one. Here's another one. I
Okay.
got a couple more for you.
All right.
We host a spelling bee.
Do they have to spell Glauckenflecken? Is that the... I don't see this as a business idea yet, but I don't know.
Oh
Sell me on it.
no! This is just fun.
Oh, you said business ideas.
Well, that's the same thing, right?
No, a business makes money.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's just
we could
an event.
You got like a registration fee to be and what you would win if you won would be spelling bragging rights.
Okay,
over
I'm
the
going to
rest of
say that's
medicine.
not your best idea.
You guys, people wouldn't like a medical spelling bee.
You're maybe as an entertainment idea. That might be a good podcast episode.
Like all the specialties, like pitting them against each other, and we'll see like which specialty is the best spelling specialty.
You know it's going to be rheumatology.
Kidding me? Ophthalmology? Come on.
Can you spell any words outside of ophthalmology?
I could try.
Mm-hmm.
Spondylolisthesis. I could give that one a shot.
I'm just saying, it could be fun.
Okay.
But I don't know how viable it would be as a business idea.
Okay. All right.
Maybe it's one of the entertaining events at our medical conference.
Okay, there you go. That's
Yeah.
like an evening,
Yeah.
like drunk spelling bee kind of thing.
Right.
Okay, gotcha. All right. I think we're onto something here.
Hmm.
So you just need a little brainstorming session here. All right, how about this? All I wrote down was the Oscars, but make it medicine. Like what? I don't know what that is. I feel like it's something like some kind of awards.
What are the profit margins on the Oscars? Probably not great.
Okay.
Uh,
Could sell ads,
I think
I
that's
don't
all
know.
you can really sell
Commercial breaks?
there. Commercial breaks, yeah.
Okay.
What would you do?
I don't know.
Awards
This
for
is all I have. Oscars, but make it medicine. You like?
so you want a gala.
Oh yeah, but you give awards for like best. You could do like some social media stuff, like best educational, feature on X on something.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think that would make it more likely for doctors to be on social media if there were some awards
Incentives?
involved?
Where you could like put it on your CV.
Right, fancy award ceremony where you can impress your peers.
I'm gonna say yes, but probably the correct answer is no. And my last thing is a musical album. Let's make like some music. Like an album, a CD. People don't listen to CD. What do they call them now? Just albums.
What do
This is
you
an album.
youths call the music today?
Let's make an album of like healthcare sounds.
Oh God. No one would want to listen to that.
You get like
That could be used as like a torture device.
well, hold on. You know how many times
Or-
I've been making a video and like it's set in a hospital setting,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, oh, I need to get some.
You just need some stock audio.
Is that what I'm talking about? Yeah. Like I need the beeps.
Yeah.
I need the beeps,
The beeps and
to
the
play
boops.
during the video.
The
And
voices.
then I just go to some random YouTube video
Yeah.
that's got the beeps in
I think this already exists and therefore it is not a viable.
But no, but as an album called the Glaucum Flecken Presents Hospital Sounds. And then we put it on Spotify.
Is this like a business suicide idea?
I think this I think there's a market for it. I'm just saying. Think about it. Okay?
All
right.
I'll try not to.
Okay.
All
Good.
right.
That's all I got. Those
All
are my
right.
business ideas. All right, should we get into the episode now?
Yes, please.
I've been thinking a lot about these things. I just had to get them out there and it just,
All right. Do you feel better?
Our audience will tell us what they think.
Yeah. Hey, pitch to us.
Absolutely.
What do you think we should make?
Well, no,
what do you
no,
want
I
to
want
see?
to know what they think
What
about
do you wanna
hospital
do?
sounds.
Oh, hospital sounds specifically?
Yeah, well, just all of them. I want you like
Oof.
which of those do you guys like?
All right.
And you can say all of them if you can't decide which one you like the most.
And you can say none of them.
All right.
I do like the talking plushie though. That
is
Or
good.
I guess it doesn't have to be a plushie.
No, but
like
that
a
was your
talking-
idea.
Talking dog. No wonder I like it.
All right, let's get into healthcare news.
Okay.
Today's episode is brought to you by the Nuance Dragon Ambient Experience, or DAX for short. This is AI-powered ambient technology that helps the physician be more efficient and reduce clinical documentation burden. It's great. To learn more about how DAX Copilot can help reduce burnout and restore the joy of practicing medicine, stick around after the episode or visit nuance.com/discoverdax. That's nuance.com/discoverdax. All right, so healthcare, I've got an update for the Change Healthcare thing. Not so much an update, just another like grievance.
Okay.
I made a video about this a little while ago, and it's just, so the Change Healthcare thing, just to recap in like under 30 seconds. Again, it's this payment processing company that just like ceased to work because there was a ransomware attack.
Right.
And so nobody could get paid any money. And the thing that I made a video about, which is absolutely outrageous, is that United Healthcare, remember this is the depressing part of each episode, right?
I try to dissociate during this part.
United Healthcare, which owns Change Healthcare, sorry, United Health Group, which owns Change Healthcare. United Healthcare Health Group went to, they've done it once. I just saw one news story about this, but I'm sure they've done it up to other practices as well. They went to this group in Corvallis not too far from where we live.
It's a town in Oregon.
Yep. Corvallis, this medical practice was struggling because of this Change Healthcare fiasco, right? They were not getting paid, losing money. They can't pay. You can't, if you're not making any money, you can't survive as a business, right?
Right.
And so they're like, what are we going to do? We're going bankrupt. And United Health Group came in and be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I see that you're going bankrupt. Hey, can we just buy you? We'll just buy your practice and we'll make sure you survive. What do you think
serious?
about that? Yes, this is an actual thing that's happened. And so obviously the regulators, because anytime you acquire a medical practice, like the state regulators, they want to make sure that there's no corruption or there's no like consolidation that's bad for competition.
Okay.
They're basically, it's like the Oregon Health Authority, but for different states. They have different, so they have to like go through these mergers and things and make sure that they're on the up and up.
Okay. And
so United Health Group went to the Health Authority in California and was like,
California.
Oh, sorry, in Oregon, and said, hey, we really need you to let this happen because this company, this practice is struggling. We really need, you need to approve this purchase of them by us
of our fault.
Because of our fault.
The
thing that we did. They're going bankrupt because of us, so please let us buy them. Isn't this so messed up?
Oh, yes. Like rather than
like it doesn't sound legal.
I know. It sounds like
it's the mob.
It does sound like the mob.
It's the mob. It's like, hey, be a shame if something happened to your healthcare, to your group here.
Sure would.
Yeah. You might want to just go ahead and let us buy you, or who knows what's going to happen.
Who knows? We might just have another ransomware attack. No one can tell.
So anyway, that was a news article I came across. I made a TikTok about it because I was just I didn't even make a skit about it. Like normally I would just do a skit. I just was talking to the camera. I was like, look at how messed up this is.
Yeah.
Like this cannot be legal, yet it's still happening. As of this recording, the change, like United Health Group has not resolved this. Like it's still ongoing. Maybe by the time this airs, it will have resolved. But I think it's going to take like actual like Congress doing something. This is like the fear with this consolidation of healthcare into like one company, like United Health Group owning everything. Like what happens if their systems go down and then this happens, right? So anyway. All right, I'm done depressing everyone.
Okay. Thank goodness.
Aren't you glad,
man,
that I've taken this path in my content?
You have really gone. I was not expecting this detour. This
hey, you can
comedy thing that you were doing.
You can
to start turning into rants about the U.S. healthcare system.
You can thank my messed up heart.
Yeah,
that's when it all changed. All right,
that's true. Well, I feel like it was that on top of already the testicular cancer insurance battles, right? Like those were not easy either.
Right.
And then your heart happened, and it was just like
all the surprise bills we got. And I started looking into it and realizing just how widespread and awful it is. And I started making all the videos. That the most common response I get from them is, it's funny, but also incredibly sad.
Right. I would say maybe a good 70%, pretty much everything except for your skits of the Glaucum stuff, mine and yours. Is rage-based. If you really dig deep down in there.
You guys like the rage-based content or the non-rage-based content?
That's really what fuels us to do all of the advocacy work that we do. You just want
to make a change. You want to change something that's bad. Yeah,
because you're pissed off that it is this way.
I think rage is an okay place to come from with regard to advocacy. You got to control the rage because when you're like angry... at people,
it has to be productive.
It's got to be productive. Yeah, productive rage. Whatever that means. Oh boy. Okay. All right. That's your
We're
change.
Fun at parties.
That's your Change Healthcare update. Yeah, we're just going around. Did you hear about what happened? Let me tell you about this vertical integration thing. You hear who's consolidating with this and that? Anyway. All right. That's your healthcare update.
Take us out of this.
All right. So, let's see. You know what? Why don't we take a break?
Okay.
Yeah, let's take a
We
break.
need
We'll
a
come back
stiff drink
because
and
we have a debate that we
okay.
need to engage in, and we need to be prepared.
Mm,
So I'll be
okay.
right back. Oh, Kristin, do I have an AI platform to tell you about?
Ooh, tell me.
Yeah, it's called Precision. This is the
Mm,
first ever EHR integrated infectious disease AI platform.
that sounds
Yeah, well,
fancy.
one of the hardest things of infectious disease is like, figuring out what to do with all the information, and
Yeah.
it's always coming at different times, and figuring out what works best for the patient.
Yeah.
Well, this automatically highlights better antibiotic regimens.
Ooh, I would
Yeah,
imagine that helps with antibiotic resistance.
it does. To see a demo, go to precision.com/KKH. That's precision spelled with an X instead of an E. So PRXCISION.com/KKH. All right, we are back, and it's debate time. I don't have a good name for this segment yet, where we just like both we choose a topic, and then we each argue on the other side of that topic,
Okay.
also known as a debate. All right, so here's the topic. This is actually
Okay.
something that we have not argued about, but been on,
Considered. Yeah.
yeah,
Like
been
a
on
figure out.
opposite sides of before. Having kids during medical training /
Mm-hmm.
education.
It's a big one. This, I think a lot of people in our audience
Mm-hmm.
are thinking about this or have thought about this
So I'll
in their
take
own
you guys
lives.
back to
Relevant.
my third year of med school,
Mhm.
and some of the
I'm sorry.
conversations that we had.
I have to get this. This is driving me
Ow! Oh
crazy.
man, what the heck? You
It was just
just
poking
plucked
out.
an eyebrow hair. God,
It's driving me nuts.
is that what it feels like when you do that to yourself? God,
Now imagine going to the salon and you get all of them out at once.
I would just let it go. Just wild and
Well, you
crazy
do, and then
eyebrows.
you end up like that.
It really bothers you whenever I do
Don't
this.
do that.
Whenever
I can't handle it.
I have my
No.
eyebrows go in the wrong direction. Anyway,
Don't do it.
okay.
I have to fix it, and you know that.
I fixed it for you. Okay. All right. Let's.
Okay.
So
Sorry. Okay, kids.
so why don't you start on your
Okay.
side of things, because you're the one that came to me when you were
Uh-huh.
in med school. You're like, we need to have a baby.
Okay, so I'm arguing the side of pro having kids during training, and you're going to argue
Yeah.
why you should not have kids during training.
Correct.
We're going to debate, not argue.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, that's easy because that is what I thought about. For us, it just
Mhm.
happened to be the right time because I had this 2-year gap where I was done with my school, but you were not done with your school, and we lived in the middle of nowhere. And there weren't a lot of job opportunities, and I also didn't, I was pivoting and I wasn't quite sure which direction I was going to pivot
Mhm.
yet. So it just made sense. Like, I'm just sitting around waiting for you. Might as well do something productive. We know we want to have a family one day. So, hey, here's a window.
Okay.
So that was our particular story. Um, I think this was advice that we were given that was good advice, which is kids, there is never a good time to have a kid. Like, if you're waiting for a good time to have a kid, there's never a good time to have a kid. A
Mhm.
kid will always completely disrupt your life.
Yeah.
That's just the facts, right? Like,
It does. You love them
yeah, this has nothing to do with like
most of the time.
emotions about your children. It's just true. Like, there's
Yes.
now this tiny thing you have to keep alive that can do literally nothing for itself except for
So
urinate
helpless.
and defecate.
So helpless.
And yeah, and so you
Yeah.
that's just,
Okay.
not great for your schedule or your social life. So there was that. Like, there's just not a good time. So
Okay.
why not do it when you feel like doing it? And then, residency was the same. It was like once we had one kid, well, we personally did not want to just have one kid. We wanted to have at least two. We wanted to give them the sibling experience. And so then it was like, well, I'm only getting older. It's only going to get more difficult for my body, especially my weird hypermobile body.
Mhm.
So we just kind of felt like the clock was ticking on
Yeah.
making this feasible, right? Um, then I would say it's a good thing we did because you ended up having cancer.
And losing the
Once
ability.
after our first kid, you lost a testicle. Then after our second kid, you lost your other testicle. So then there's no way
My body
to.
was saying, let's
Yeah,
stop doing this, please.
exactly. It was. But see, if we hadn't done it, then we would have missed our window to have biological
It would have
children that
been,
were a combination of us.
that's true. It would have been more expensive because we did bank.
Yeah,
So it could have done
but
that,
again, like
but you know,
that's no
right.
guarantee
All right.
either.
All good points. So when we were talking about this initially, I was like super not into it.
Mhm. Oh wait, I have one more point I
Yeah.
have to make, which was I told you, look, right now we don't have any like extra disposable income to go do like fancy vacations or travel the world or, go out and do a bunch of we're just like stuck in this house. We study, we buy the bare necessities to get by and rinse and repeat for 5 years.
Yeah.
So when kids are little, they don't remember any of that. They don't care if we're doing things, not doing things. They don't need a lot at the younger ages, they're not like involved in activities and all that yet. So I was like, well,
Okay.
let's just get that part out of the way. Like we can afford that part. And then by the time they get older and they can go do all that stuff and they do have the ability to retain memories, then we will have more like income to be able to go because we'll be further along in our careers. And then we will also still be relatively young when they are out of our house. And so we will still have many years of health left to be able to do things on our own if we want to, or with them. We get more years with them and get more years
Assuming we survive.
of our youth where we have
Okay.
disposable income, relative youth. By that I mean we'll be like 50.
Okay. Decent points.
Okay, now I'm done.
I would say the money argument where like if we don't have any money, might as well have kids. Like that could easily be an argument against it.
Sure.
Because it just also adds more stress. Like
Yep.
so much more stressful to be able to afford diapers and
Right.
formula and baby stuff, baby crib. And all the other things, those are the only three things I can think of
Exactly.
that require a baby.
You're making my point.
So if we had waited a little bit longer when I was actually making an income,
Mhm.
and you were making an income because you weren't working at that time either,
Mhm.
then it would have been just easier. We wouldn't have to subsist on student loans, basically, is what it came out to. And so financially, it would make I think the better financial decision, honestly, would have been to wait. If you're looking at
Yes.
potential cost over the course of
Correct. I'm not
of your
arguing
life.
that it was cheaper. I'm just saying, well, they're not going to remember all this anyway. We're going to be able to pay back the loans.
Okay.
That was my thinking.
All right. The other big one that I can think of is at the time, and maybe this is just like the people that we knew, but nobody else was having kids,
Yep.
right? So,
You know what I hear? I hear lots of free babysitters.
but also there was just less of, we missed out a lot too of, being able to, a big part of going through like med school and residency and those types of, whenever you're in your early, mid, late 20s, is there's a lot of commiserating happening. There's a lot of camaraderie being built.
Right.
And it does throw a little wrench into that type of thing, to have a child that you have to keep alive. Right. So, and we just weren't on the same level as the people that we knew, the people that we'd grown up with, who were having kids a lot later than us.
Counterpoint. Now, those same people are just now having their kids, and they have preschoolers and babies, and I laugh, and I laugh, and I laugh.
Okay, but then we could have gotten our kids together, and they'd be on the same.
None of us live in the same place. Because
All
as we've mentioned before, you have to move everywhere in
Okay.
medical training. So we've
Okay.
all split up.
All right. It's hard to refute a lot of your arguments.
We were younger. We had more energy.
Even though I was reticent at the time, like now, it's hard for me to argue this because I totally agree with you.
I know. Obviously, the decision
Like,
we
I'm
made
glad we did it the way we
Yeah.
did it. It was just really hard in the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be hard regardless, but
That is my argument. It will always be hard. It's
Yeah.
just what kind of hard you're going to be having.
right.
You know, like
Well, it also
I can't imagine being this age now and having to stay up all night with a baby. Like I don't know if
Oh,
I could do
man.
it. Like I'm just older, and that's harder.
You know what we did with our first one?
It was horrible.
She would not let us put her down. Like she had to be bounced and rocked.
Yeah,
And back,
she was a particularly
and we couldn't afford one of
hard
those
sleeper.
Like $2,000 bassinets
right
that
that
like
would like rock the baby
that rock
for
the
you.
baby and basically it's like a external womb.
Yeah.
You know. And so we took shifts. You, me, and your
My mom came to help out because we were so strung
Mine
out.
was 2 to 5 a.m. every
Yep.
night. I just sit
Mhm.
there and rock, and I would watch Burn Notice. That was my show.
Yeah.
Just a big blur,
Yep.
like a nightmare.
Right. So imagine doing that now.
Oh
Like
man,
at least then you were like 27 years old. You know,
yeah, that's true. It would be a
you
lot
could
harder.
recover faster.
But now I'm also an ophthalmologist, and so I'd have a little bit more time. But still,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be hard no matter what. There is no good time.
yeah.
It's the way it's going to be hard will be different at different points, but it's never not going to be hard. So have kids, everyone. They're great.
They're wonderful when they're not stealing your identity, and which we covered last time we did this Glauc Talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there's always something new that comes up. So, you know, but I'm in the end, like, again, I think it's fantastic we did it earlier. I'm glad you
Yeah.
talked me into it
Me too.
because now I don't have any testicles left.
Yep.
And I don't have any,
That ship has
I
sailed.
cannot make any more genetic material.
Correct.
So there you go.
We got rid of the banked sperm.
We did. We kept it for probably a couple of years.
I got to tell you something. I knew the entire time. I think I even told you. I was nicer about it than what I'm about to say, but it was a waste of money to do that because I was not going to have another kid. Like I could not
Yeah.
do it. I
Okay.
kept telling you, like, my body can't do this again.
Yeah.
And then it turned out to be true. Like later on, I got scans and things, and I'm like, oh yeah, my spine's a big mess.
Yeah.
So
we kept, and it was expensive too to bank sperm.
yeah,
It's like,
but I think it just helped you psychologically feel,
Mm-hmm.
you know, when stuff like that happens, you feel like everything is out of your control, and that was something that could still be in your control.
right.
So
It did
I
make
felt
for
like
a
that was
very
worth it.
it
but-
did make for a very interesting experience when I got to go to FedEx and have
Mhm.
the poor FedEx worker notarize my sperm destruction form.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, I got some semen. Can you help me get rid of this, please?
I hope that's not how you phrased it.
Oh well, what else am I gonna say? They're very professional. I was like, yes,
I have
of
to
course.
get my manager.
Yes, of course. And the police come.
Yeah. She pushes the button under the counter.
Yes, right. So, yeah, and I was fine with that. I got to the point where
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Yeah, I think our family is complete. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah. And you have baby fever.
I
You
still got
really
baby
like the
fever.
babies. Yep. And I just could
Oh,
not
I
be
love-
happier that I do not have a baby.
I love a good baby. That baby smell,
The baby
the
smell
little-
is great.
the little rolls
I
on the
love
wrist.
to snuggle a baby and then hand it back to the people responsible for it.
I just babies are wonderful.
They are. I'm glad that I'm not responsible for one. That's all I'm
It's
saying.
good. I already have to wipe this dog's ass. I don't know how to
Yeah.
wipe a human's ass.
Exactly. We're done with that
People,
for now.
People are like, "What are you
We'll
talking
get to
about?"
the other end where it'll be like older.
So, all right. Well, I don't have a lot of great arguments.
I think it all
against-
comes down to just do what is right for you and your people, your family, your partner, whatever.
Yeah, really. And then
There's
if you're
no one right
if you're
way.
waiting for the right time, good luck.
Mhm.
I think
Right.
there's a lot.
There's always a
there's
reason
lot
not
of
to do
wisdom
it.
to
So if
that.
you want to do it, when it feels right to you, just do it.
There you
And
go.
it's going to be hard, but you're going to do it anyway.
All right.
Life advice.
That's
from
our
the
life
Glauc
advice.
Talk.
That's our having kids life advice there. That's supposed to be a debate, but it wasn't really that great of one. That's okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully that helps somebody out there.
There's got to be other, just because we did it this way doesn't, we're also not
Yeah.
saying you have to do it that way.
Of
Like
course.
there's other families where the other way made more sense for them.
It
So,
also helped to be in a very supportive residency program.
yes.
We had a ton of kids in residence, like all
Yes,
the
like
residents.
the residents collectively.
Yeah,
There were many
a
children.
very fertile group we were.
Yes.
There was probably at one point got to be like 15 kids between all the residents.
Oh,
which
all
is,
yeah.
which is very unusual in
Yeah.
a residency program.
Right.
So, which did make it a lot of fun to like get all the kids together. And
Yeah.
do that kind of thing.
That was fun. I remember like the Easter egg hunts at your
Yeah,
program director's
yeah.
house
Yeah, that
and
was
stuff
great.
like that.
That
Yeah,
was
it was super, super cute.
All right, so we got one more little thing to do here.
Okay.
I thought we could try to educate a little bit.
Okay.
So we're gonna do organ of the day.
Organ of the day.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tell you
Teach me.
about an organ called the omentum.
That's a fun word to say. Omentum.
And there's a greater and a lesser omentum.
Oh.
Omentum. See, the reason I chose this
Would
one.
you rather be the greater or lesser omentum?
Oh, greater, of course. Much more powerful.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So the reason I chose the omentum to teach you about today is because that is something I didn't even know existed until I got to med school.
Yeah.
That's like one of those things, like you're going through anatomy,
Uh-huh.
abdominal, it's in the abdomen.
Okay.
And all of a sudden the professor's like, and then here is the greater omentum. You're like, what? No, that's a thing? It's like a little curtain inside your abdomen.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's
is it like a stage show in there?
Yeah, that's right. You can lift it up and
Uh-huh.
see, here is the pancreas. The greater omentum is a 2-leaflet hammock
A hammock.
of fibro-fatty tissue that extends from the stomach down to the colon. So it's like
I'm having trouble envisioning this.
yeah. So it's like a little mesh curtain. That's basically really what it is. Like a little mesh curtain that just sits on top of your organs. So if you were to make an incision and open up the abdomen,
Yeah.
once you get into like the space where all the organs are, the peritoneal cavity,
Uh-huh.
the first thing you would see is this
There's
curtain.
like a little layer of
This
tissue.
little layer of tissue, and you can like fold it back.
Okay.
You can like fold
Like,
it up.
keep your organs in there.
Yeah, just kind of help. It just protects your organs right there. And
What kind of elasticity does it have?
I've never seen someone like try to stretch it, so I don't know
I'm
how
thinking of pregnancy.
elastic it really is.
We were just talking about kids, so.
True, and so, but it does have some functions.
You didn't answer the question.
What was the question?
How elastic is it?
On a scale from 1, like what? Elastic compared to like a rubber band?
Like, can it stretch?
Sure. I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know. I really don't. So let me tell you what it does.
You
though.
never know the answers to any of my questions.
You just don't ask the right questions.
I ask interesting questions.
Okay. So the functions of the greater omentum: fat deposition. So it's got
Fat
like,
deposits in it.
Yep. Yep. It also has immune functions, like immune system. Yep. So it has like macrophages and things that will, it's like protection. It's like the immune system protection of the cavity in there. So if like, bacteria theoretically can get in there and then your omentum will attack it.
How does it do that? What kind of
Well, here's the interesting
immune stuff is in there?
So if you have an infection or a wound inside the abdomen, if you were to open up the abdomen, you would see that the omentum, it actually travels to the area of infection, like a little organism.
Do you mean that it like grows an extension of itself over there?
No, it moves itself.
Okay, that's different than what I was picturing.
Isn't that crazy? It's like a little thing inside that's like alive.
That's creepy.
So say you have like a liver
It's like
abscess
alien.
or something, it'll kind of migrate over to that abscess and cover it and try to like protect the rest of your body.
Okay, the way you explained it, it sounded like its purpose was sort of to keep the organs in place.
No, it doesn't keep them in place. I think it's mostly like to help limit spread of infection.
Okay.
That's the biggest thing.
Gotcha. I was envisioning something that was like a girdle, which is why I was concerned about why it could stretch.
Oh, no.
Got it.
I was wondering
Okay,
why
so
you were
it's a
so onto the stretching.
thing.
Yeah.
It's almost like a little organ itself, except
Yeah.
it can move around.
Right.
Okay.
It can kind of migrate into
Yeah.
those areas and protect the body.
Here,
But it also can
it's like a
it
macrophage.
can get cancer though too. That's another like
Bummer.
bad thing.
What's that called?
I don't know. I think I don't think there's like a primary omentum cancer. I think it's a metastasis.
Okay.
So of other cancers can get into the omentum, and then you have to have what's called an omentumectomy or an omentectomy, something like that, where they just remove it. Yeah. It's a
You can live without it.
I believe so. You might be more susceptible to
Immune stuff.
like infections and trauma as well. Like if you have a big trauma inside like an abdominal trauma, it'll go and plug that area and like keep it from bleeding or something. I don't know.
Right.
Something like that.
So, what's the purpose of the fatty deposits?
I don't know.
You're the worst.
Do I look like an omentum expert?
You just said you were going to teach me all about the omentum.
I feel like I've taught you a lot. Like way more than would ever be expected from an average ophthalmologist.
Well,
I am
sure.
very proud of my omentum knowledge.
For an ophthalmologist, that was pretty good.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
For a former medical student, we didn't get our money's worth.
Fair enough. Okay, let's take a break and come back with a fan story.
All right.
Hey, Kristin.
Yeah.
Can I interest you in a Demodex mite?
No, you cannot.
Why? Look at it. Look how cute they are. Little beady eyes and multiple legs of thorax and abdomen. Doesn't this look cute?
No,
Here.
I mean, it's a stuffed animal, so it does have a certain quality to it, but I don't want an actual Demodex mite.
Well, the real ones do hang out on your eyelids.
Yeah, see, I don't want them there.
They cause red, itchy, irritated eyelid, sometimes like flaky buildup on your eyelashes.
Disgusting. I do not want that.
Well, don't get freaked out by this, okay? You got to get checked out.
Okay.
It's eye doctors that we're used to diagnosing Demodex blepharitis. It's a pretty common disease.
You see these little guys in your little microscopes?
My microscope might not be powerful enough to see this, but I can see the telltale signs of it. That's for sure. To find out more, go to eyelidcheck.com. Again, that's EYELID check.com to get more information about these little guys that cause Demodex blepharitis. All right, we are back with a fan story. I also want to say, like, we just took a short break, and I think we really scared one of our producers who's about to have a baby.
like imminently.
Children are wonderful, Rob. Seriously, like, it's rainbows and sunshine most of the time. 20% of the time. Sometimes.
Occasionally.
We don't try to scare people, but maybe we inadvertently did.
Listen, the frequency is small, but the weight of those occasions is large.
Of the good times.
Happy times.
The happy times.
Yes.
Yeah. And it carries you through.
Yes.
It's kind of like, it's in a lot of ways.
It's kind of like med school when you have like a good
residency.
save.
Right. Yeah. Like in residency, like I diagnose some eye problem and save a patient's vision. Like that kind of thing just sustains me for weeks through some really awful things that can happen. Right. So I don't know if that helps anybody feel any better.
We should probably just stop talking
Let's just
about
go on now. Okay, so our story today comes from Jen. Jen says, when I was a teenager, I had a questionably necessary foot surgery to correct a bunion by a podiatrist, later convicted of Medicare fraud.
Super.
That's no good. Before the surgery, an anesthesiologist... that's just an aside.
Oh, boy.
That's not the story. I feel like there's another story about this podiatrist convicted of Medicare fraud. Before the surgery, an anesthesiologist gave me twilight sedation. Next thing I knew, I was waking up with my foot wide open, but numb. It was numb, but wide open. The anesthesiologist told me he had to wake me early because I was wiggling my foot. I remember wishing for my glasses so I could watch, but they were in the waiting room with my parent. They magically appeared on my face, so I groggily watched my foot get sewn up. P.S. I never got the surgery on my other foot.
That does sound like a story told by someone under anesthesia.
It does a little bit. Like they had to, I'm not sure. I wonder exactly why they had to wake this patient.
Wiggling their foot.
So they had to wait. Usually they like put you out even more.
Right.
So I don't know. So maybe
so they could say stop wiggling your foot.
No, because they should be like totally
Like
anesthetized
numb
and like not just
not
numb.
capable of moving the foot.
Yeah, paralyzed as well, right? You don't want to someone move their foot. So I don't know. Interesting. But then you got to watch your foot. What would you do in that situation?
No, put me out, please.
Would you start screaming?
I wouldn't look. I just wouldn't look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would watch my own surgery.
I don't want to.
I think I would do that.
Do not. No, thank you.
By the way, do you know the specialty of the doctor who I believe has the record for most amount of Medicare fraud?
Ooh,
it was like
specialty.
It was like $25 million worth of Medicare.
This is one doctor, and what
Mhm.
specialty is this doctor? I have no way to know.
Ophthalmology.
Oh, super.
I think it was in Florida.
Wasn't you, was it?
Absolutely not. I wouldn't even know how to commit Medicare fraud, so I don't even know what that really means. But anyway, I guess you're billing for stuff you didn't do.
I guess.
I would never do that though. That's bad.
No, you're pretty honest. You were raised with that Catholic guilt. So.
Oh, I do. I did have a lot of Catholic guilt growing up.
Yeah.
All right. Send us your stories. knockknockhi@human-content.com. Thank you all for listening. Tell us what you thought of the episode. If you have, again, anything that you want Kristin and I to argue with each other about, or commiserate about, or give each
advice.
Other, maybe we should give each other compliments.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do people like non-conflict related
Can we do it where
segments?
you just give me compliments?
Sure. There's lots of ways you can reach out to us. Email us, knockknockhi@human-content.com. Hang out with us on our social media platforms. Hang out with our Human Content Podcast family on Instagram and TikTok at Human Content Pods. And you can also give us feedback. Do you know you can do that? You can give us reviews and feedback if you want.
That's right.
It's possible to do that. If you subscribe and comment on your favorite podcasting app or on YouTube, we can give you a shout out. Like @PK Gregor on YouTube said, I really like this podcast. As a med student, the workplace can be quite discouraging, and in online medical communities, people usually just come to vent while the happy doctors stay offline and enjoy life. So it's nice to hear from doctors talking about medical stuff in a positive and enthusiastic way.
I really like that.
That is so nice. Thank you.
No, I'm glad that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you @PK Gregor. Also got to shout out our newsletter. We have a newsletter.
Yes, you can find us on our newsletter. Here's the deal. You're everywhere. Like, your face is too many places. And so I decided, good business sense, but I decided, you know what? Let's make it easier for the people. If they just want to see whatever is new in Glauc land, one-stop shop, one place, comes right to you once a week.
Newsletter.
There you go.
There you go.
And you started writing little secret stories.
Oh, I did, yeah.
That sometimes get released.
Where do people find it?
glaucandflecken.com/newsletter.
There you go. Also, full video episodes are up every week on my YouTube channel of this podcast @DGlaukandFlecken. We also have a Patreon, lots of cool perks, bonus episodes, hang out with our community here. We could use you. We could always use more people.
You know what we
There's
need
power
is
in
a
numbers.
plumber. You need a good plumber in a community.
Are there any gastroenterologists out there? We'd love to have
There you go.
We're early ad-free episode access, interactive Q&A live stream events, bonus upgrades for our live show tickets. Patreon.com/glaucandflecken, or go to glaucandflecken.com. Speaking of Patreon community perks, we have a shout out. Let's shout out all the Jonathans, shall we?
Yes.
Yes, let's do it. Do you want to do it or me?
You go right ahead.
It's a lot, isn't it?
It's a lot. I'm being very lazy.
All right. Patrick Lucia C, Sharon S, Omar Edward K, Stephen G, Jonathan F, Marion W, Mr. Granddaddy, Caitlin C, Brianna L, KL, Keith G, JJH, Derek and Mary H, Susanna F, Ginny J, Mohammed K, Abiga Parker, Ryan, Mohammed L, David H, Jack K, Medical Meg, Bubbly Salt, and Pink Macho. Patreon roulette time. Random shout out to someone on the emergency medicine tier. Shout out to Natalie H. Thank you, Natalie, for being a patron. And thank you all for listening. We're your hosts, Will and Kristin Planner, also known as the Glauc Fleckens. Executive producers are Will Flannery, Kristin Flannery, Aaron Corney, Rob Goldman, and Shanti Brooke. Editor and engineer is Jason Portizo. Our music is by Omentum. To learn about our Knock Knock Hi's, I've been told to say this, enunciate this, program disclaimer and ethics policy, submission verification and licensing terms, and HIPAA release terms, go to glaucandplanket.com or reach out to us, knockknockhigh@human-content.com, with any questions, concerns, or puns. Knock Knock High is a human content production.
Knock, knock. Goodbye.
Hey, Kristin, you know what these little stuffed Dax Copilot dragons make me think of?
What, these little stuffed animals?
Jonathan.
Oh.
I need to get Jonathan a little hat
yeah,
like
a
this.
little co-pilot hat.
And what if he had wings, too?
That would just
Flying
be a game
around,
changer.
flying
Yeah, I'm
around.
surprised he doesn't already have wings. You should
Just
have thought of that.
Fixing burnout anywhere he goes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what you get with the Nuanced Dragon Ambient Experience. Did you know that?
That's pretty awesome.
Absolutely. 80% of patients actually say their physician is more focused with the Dax Copilot. 85% of patients say their physician is more personable and conversational with the Dax Copilot. It really does make a huge difference in patient care.
And in that patient-physician relationship.
Absolutely. You just get to focus on what got you into medicine in the first place.
Right.
You know, not documentation.
Right.
Taking care of the patient. To learn more about the Nuanced Dragon Ambient Experience or Dax Copilot, visit nuance.com/discoverdax. That's nuance.com/discoverdax. Thanks for watching the episode. You can find more on that playlist over there. If you prefer to listen, or you just had your eyes dilated, you can binge full episodes wherever you get your podcasts. Or join the party over on Patreon, where you get early access episodes, hang out with us, get lots of exclusive bonus content. Help you subscribe, leave a comment below. Let us know what you think.